Hello, beautiful people. Good morning. It's Monday, and hopefully, it's not going to be crazy Monday. It's good Monday, and I hope you had a good time. I hope you are enjoying, uh, or you had a good weekend. So, what's happening, Wanda? You saw what's happening. WandaVision was in my title today. So why does what's happening? Why? Because guys, we have been all chatting about this, haven't we? On my Ask Me Anythings, we have been carefully tiptoeing across because we don't want to do spoiler alerts. We have been so excited about this WandaVision that's happening on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus, I think this is a good reason to get it. No, seriously, I really, really do. Am just completely surprised at how much I'm enjoying WandaVision. And I'm not what I have affectionately started to call all of you who love Marvel and superheroes and DC and superheroes, the whole superhero universe. I call you Marvelites. Now, the reason I do that is because, like my husband said, DC has not really infiltrated into Disney Plus, has it? Right? Because they're different. And I'm asking, I'm not telling, I'm asking, I'm actually asking. And the reason I'm actually asking is because this is not my jam. Seriously, superheroes, although they're cool. When I was a little girl, I loved Thor, and he was painted all over my room. I hand painted pictures of Thor all over my room. But as I grew older, it just was something that was left by the wayside. I'm not a comic book reader. However, I'm learning. I have a very dear friend who's a comic book designer, illustrator, writer, and he's magnificent. And he's helping me to realize what goes into creating this genre, as does Disney Plus. Disney Plus has got these great documentaries on creating story or what it takes. It takes so much more. It's not just a little flimsy magazine. There a lot goes into it, and I'm so grateful for people to teach me that. But WandaVision, the reason I'm so jazzed about WandaVision, and if it's your first time joining me, welcome YouTube and welcome anyone who is their first time joining me. So happy to have you here. What is this channel? It's called Comfy Chat. Why? Because you come in from the harsh realities and we talk about stories and we share some of the things that we enjoy in life, despite some of the cold that's outside, the cold reality out there. We just sort of keep upbeat and talk and chat. And I check your comments at the end. I might pop in a little earlier just because I want to. And so one of the things that came from this on the channel, and do subscribe and ring the little bell if you like what you're hearing. Okay, you can wait till the end. These do go long. You can always listen to them later. And if you are listening to later, welcome. Please, in the comments, do me a favor and just let me know what you think and how you like it. But anyway, back to WandaVision. Why WandaVision? WandaVision is the first, in my opinion, okay, this is in my opinion, it's the first endeavor, let me say endeavor, where you, who is someone who doesn't necessarily cotton to, shall I say that, to watching superheroes. The movies are really overwhelming for me. The only character I really like is Rocket in there, and then the blue face guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are two characters I absolutely love. Baby Groot I like too. As a teenager, not so much. But the point is that I can latch on to certain characters, but I don't get wrapped up in the history, in the Easter eggs, I'm not interested. So I kind of equate it to somebody who doesn't like sports. I don't watch sports either, so I did not watch the Super Bowl game. Oh, shudder. I usually go to a restaurant and eat because it's like owning the restaurant myself. I'm the only one in the restaurant. So when my husband showed me the preview to WandaVision, because my husband is a Marvelite, he loves the whole thing. Okay, he loves he doesn't necessarily love every movie, but he has to go to each movie when it opens so that he gets no spoiler alerts. And this is very important to him. So, and I understand it because that's with me with Star Wars. A lot of people talk to me about Star Wars because Star Wars is my jam. I know it so well. Maybe not the current Star Wars, but the original Star Wars was something that changed my life. So I'm all about that. And I'm all about that, like crazy all about that. And so I have to see a Star Wars movie, and then if I don't like it, it's kind of a shame, but I have to see a Star Wars movie early so that I don't have spoiler alerts. And The Mandalorian was not that way. In fact, a lot of people were very respectful of my heart because they were watching The Mandalorian as it unrolled, and I waited until it was all dropped, and then I binge watched it. But with WandaVision, it's one of those that I personally, my husband says you really should watch it episodic to episodic because then you can discuss each show because it's full of stuff. Okay. So I'm not going to do any spoilers, but what I am going to tell you is if you're someone who is watching out there and you're like, ugh, another superhero, really, this is different. And this is different because it's something you both can watch together. If you're not someone who likes or is into, it's not that I don't like it, it's not into it, right? And just give me a minute because I'm going to cross over here and grab my little teapot because one of my patrons on Terry's Tribe was kind enough to suggest that in order for me to have tea, that I go ahead and have a pot that's heating it up in my office so that I can sit and enjoy a cup of tea with you guys because I talk a long time. And it warms my throat and takes good care of me. So I just sit and relax a little bit and fill this up like so. And then I have a little hot plate over here that takes really good care of it. There we go. Okay. The teapot in the back has a temperature control, and that temperature control keeps it at the temperature that I like and can use. So that's cool. And what else was I going to say? I was looking for something here. Forgive me, guys. Oh, one moment. I dribbled just a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. You guys are seeing me like the other one is seeing me. And look, there's a light in the shot. My husband will get me for that one too. So let's pop that out like that. Okay. All right. So back to WandaVision. So the 5th episode just dropped. I don't know how many total. But the 5th one just dropped, and it was even more intriguing than the last. So what I'm going to say to you is this. It's about, and I asked the question about this because I don't know Marvel. I don't know all the characters' names. It's, like I said before, not something I'm super into. And so just to let you know, when Endgame came out and my husband had to go see it, I was actually in another location and I flew in to go see it with him because he doesn't like to see movies alone. I mean, maybe he does, but it's better with a person. And he told me I had to see Captain Marvel as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to sit through 2 of these movies. And I was really concerned. I thought Captain Marvel was very good because of the pilot and her daughter. I just love that whole sequence in that movie. And if you haven't seen it, I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but there's a pilot and her daughter, and they're amazing. And that comes into WandaVision. And I don't think I'm spoiling anything there, but that character comes in there. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I kind of noticed it when I first watched it because, again, it's not my big thing. But if you were on the Ask Me Anything, I asked you all a question if you were a Marvelite. I asked you about Wanda. I had remembered Wanda from seeing a movie where she was a twin. And I asked you what her name was. You may remember this. Well, my husband said her name is Wanda uh, Wanda Maximoff, and she had a brother. And then the brother was killed in Ultron, I think. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? My husband could snap this off, and anyone who's a Marvelite could snap this off. So forgive me if I'm, but I was curious because people, when I asked the question last week, they called her the Scarlet Witch, and I could not comprehend, is it Scarlet Witch or is it Mac, whatever, right? She has a last name, and then, or she's got what, which is it? So my husband tried to explain it to me, and I guess Scarlet Witch was first, and then her first and last name was later. But in any case, it's the same person. I was like, oh, okay, all right, because in WandaVision, this is what they call her: first name, last name. Okay. But the thing that's beautiful is that Wanda is in a sitcom type situation in this WandaVision. And they call it WandaVision because they imply that Wanda has created this new environment. And it's like 1950s, 1960s sitcoms. So you've got Dick Van Dyke Show, you've got Mary Tyler Moore Show, reminiscent, you've got Bewitched, reminiscent, you've got several reminiscent of early sitcoms, and it's done so beautifully. The laugh tracks are done beautifully. The color is done beautifully. The acting is done. It's just everything that you saw when you were a kid, like Dick Van Dyke, et cetera, et cetera. All of it is so amazingly, wonderfully duplicated, right down to the soundtrack, that for someone like me, I'm loving it because of the picture they're painting. Okay. I just love it. And then magic starts to happen in the show, and you're enjoying, it's kind of like a marvelous cake you're eating. It's just got a surprise flavor, and each new episode has more surprises, and it's just so fun. And the 5th episode gets really, really edgy. That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay. Because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. But I encourage you, if you have Disney Plus, get on it. I know maybe if you're a binge watcher, you want to wait till they're all down and just pop. But what my husband is saying, as Marvelite, you want to have time to digest each episode. So watch 1 through 5 so that when the next one drops, my husband tells me, on Friday night, you can then watch it. So for my husband watched it twice yesterday because he said it was so full of important info, that he wanted to see it again. Now, here's the thing that surprised me, the non-Marvelite, the non-Marvel person, is he came up with a theory after watching episode 5. He had a thought, a theory, something happens, and he had a theory based on what he saw. Okay, as you Marvelites do, you know that you're like, okay, I think what's happening here going to happen. You know, and it's not only Marvelites; it's anybody who watches some sort of series says, okay, let me see if I can figure out. Like, do you watch Westworld? I love Westworld. It's also one of those where you're like, okay, let me think about what's going to happen now that I've seen this. I think it's going to go this way, or it could be this person is at the root of it, or oh my gosh, that was a shocker. Okay. So in episode 5, an incident occurs. And when I was sitting with my husband after watching it, he started a theory. He said, I think blah, 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 blah. And I said, however, something occurs in the 5th episode that's really interesting. And I said, what if this scenario plays out? And what it does is, for, I won't say the first time, but very early, we're having a discussion. I mean, a real discussion where my eyes aren't glazing over because he's talking all the technical stuff that Marvel people do. They talk about the history. They talk about the way back when she was or he was blah, or blah, 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 and this stands for that, you know, the name sword, for example. And then honestly, as non-Marvelites, we don't care. Okay. We just want to see. I mean, I shouldn't speak for the non-Marvelite, but let me just speak for this non-Marvelite. I don't care. I don't care what sword stands for. I don't care what, honestly, don't care what, any Easter eggs. Nah, no, no, no. I just like a good story. And if I get stuck on something, I turn to my husband and I go, this is what I'm interpreting from that. Can you confirm that, I saw what I saw, maybe? But in this time, he had not seen, because I'm looking at it through different eyes, because I'm not really grounded in Marvel. He did not see this one thing that I saw, and we discussed it, and it was kind of cool. And then we watched it again, and he was like, that's an interesting thread. So what I'm saying is, if you're someone who has a husband or wife or significant other who's really into the superheroes, but you're not, I highly suggest you take a peek at WandaVision, because it's a chance you can sit together with a soda and popcorn and just really enjoy it curled up, on the couch. Or we were in a lounge, a loungy kind of, it was our Sunday. So we snuggled up under the covers and we just watched WandaVision, and we watched it twice and we loved it. And it's just a fantastic, it's a fantastic show. It's just so great how they've managed to bridge the gap between myself and my husband. He watches everything that has to do with superheroes. Like there was a series, you guys, I hope I have it right, called The Agents of Shield, and Shield has dots after it, and I didn't care what Shield meant, and I did not care to watch the show. I watched the first 2 or 3. It wasn't my cup of tea. But my husband watched every single one, and he watched it when I wasn't around. Okay, I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, but neither does he. So like if he was at work and he had downtime, he would pull up that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing and just go to town, and loved it. But I think he also probably missed being able to discuss it with his wife, because you want to have someone to discuss it with. He had some friends that he had discussed it with, but during the pandemic, sometimes, so WandaVision creates the bridge that I have never seen happen before. And I think that's why I said, what's happening, WandaVision? Because after it has completely, first season has dropped, I don't know how you all feel, but I would love to do a YouTube /Facebook, where we're really into it, where we're really kind of analyzing and dissecting, and I get to hear what you guys are thinking that are Marvelites and what you guys are thinking that aren't. Do you enjoy it? Because a lot of us, I think, who don't really buy into the superhero genre are really loving this. First of all, Wanda and Vision are 2 very, very likable characters, and I'm surprised how much I love them. I really, really love these 2 beings, and I really, really love, the heart that they both have is really wonderful. My husband had to explain to me about Vision, because I didn't know if Vision was an alien or what Vision was. So my husband had to tell me that Vision was a robot, cyborg, some sort of thing like that. And if I'm getting it wrong, I apologize to you all. But despite that, there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of warmth. There's just a lot. There's a lot of cool characters that I think the performers do a beautiful job, and I'm always looking for story. So there's a lot for you. If you're not someone who's into superheroes, there's a lot for you to enjoy. And then if you are someone who loves this sort of thing, and everything that's everything about the Marvel universe, you're going to love it too. Because my husband says it's chock full of innuendos and Easter eggs. It's just so much fun that chances are you are watching it several times to dissect what many of us, it goes, whoop. And I mean, the ones that. So I thought I'd talk to you about this, because this is one of the things that happened over the weekend. And it was electrifying. It was just electrifying. I cannot tell you how excited I am for Saturday. It drops on Friday, but my husband is not around when it drops. He's working. So we wait for Saturday. Actually, Sunday. We actually watched it first thing Sunday morning because that's our family day. So we work, and then on Sunday, it's our little gift to ourselves is to curl up and watch WandaVision. And so a shout out to whoever came up with this, whoever directed this. Do more, please. Do more like this because it's so nice to sit with my husband and enjoy. And he can see my eyes glaze over and goes, you're really not interested in this. So he will connect it in the simplest form so that because I was really confused about Scarlet Witch versus her name. So he helped me to better understand that. So let me go over to your comments because it is an exciting thing. Let's just have a bit of a conversation today. It's a little different than I normally do, but let's just hear what you guys have to say. And then I'll jump back, if there's opinions and stuff. But seriously, have you seen it? Did you like it? What is your thoughts? Happy Monday. Let's light this candle, huh? DC is WB, Marvel is Disney. Yes, exactly. And WB, I think you mean like Warner Brothers, right? Because my husband was explaining to me, honestly, Ron, that Warner Brothers or whoever has DC, and then certain aspects of Marvel, certain characters are owned, and they don't necessarily want Disney to have them, correct? And if WD is short for Warner Brothers, I'll tell you, Warner Brothers is notorious for not wanting to share. They do not like to share. No, we've run up against them on several occasions. They are not the sharing sort. But yeah, so studio-wise at least. Yes, exactly. And my husband was saying Marvel made Marvel movies. And one of my favorite things about Marvel creating Marvel movies is the comics that happen in the front, that title sequence that they do. I could see that over and over again. I just love that. The art of it is so incredible. So like animators do with flipping. I don't know. It's cool. It's very cool. So my husband says that's one way I can tell it's a Marvel made film. Good morning, Ava. Angie says, what I think. I do like these streams. Yes, and yes. Best part of my Mondays and Fridays. Appreciate you being here as I work from home. It's very lonely. And Angie, I just was interviewed this weekend. People wanting to know, when do I stop? Okay. So Angie brings up a perfect thing. Many people on this question thing I did called Simple Easy Marketing, she kept saying, how can you give 3 hours of your time and not charge for it? And I said, it's really good to over deliver because there are times like, for example, I create the Hitchhiking Ghosts and I want you guys to know about it. And you guys are more than happy to purchase them because you want them and you know that I'm a woman of my word. So I don't really look at it for money. I do it because of people like you, Angie, who have said, you're alone in your home for whatever reason because of COVID-19, and you'd like to come in from the cold reality and sit by the fire and have stories. And I don't mind telling them, honestly. If I did, I wouldn't be doing it. Honestly, I wouldn't. So thank you, Angie. Good morning, Terry, and one and all. Have a great day, everyone. And Michael, thank you for joining us as usual. I appreciate it. I appreciate when you all comment because then I can kind of get a feed. I was talking about listening to you guys on this talk that I had on Saturday where they were interviewing me. They were asking me about listening to the audience and how, in what ways does this help? And I said, most gurus of YouTube and other platforms tell you to keep it super, super short. But that's not what this audience has asked for the most part. They want a good chunk of time. Now, I mentioned before, I'm going to create a highlights where you can get little chunks for those of you who, but you can always come back. And if you have, you can look at the time code and just watch it in little bites, So I think it's Brian Tracy who has a book called Eat That Frog. And it works, just little bites. Don't try to eat the whole frog. If you're someone who doesn't want to sit here for the whole time, I get it and I appreciate it. And I thank you. I really, really thank you. The nostalgia level is through the roof and the story is getting more intense. I also like the implications for new Marvel stories. Ron, this is exactly what my husband said. And what I love about it is that I can follow it without asking my husband every 2 minutes what the heck is going on. You see what I'm saying? There's so many things I like about it that have nothing to do with why my husband likes it. And this person managed to bring this. These people, these creators of this have managed to keep us both in the same room and not get one of us getting bored, right? Good morning, Joseph. So this is why I love WandaVision. Bob, that was nice of you to say hi to Michael. I was never really into my Marvel comics, says Joseph, but got hooked when Disney took over. I missed a few of the movies and don't have background knowledge about comics, but I'm really getting hooked lately. Is it because of WandaVision, Joseph, or was there a pivotal film that you saw that kind of grabbed you and made you get into comics and superheroes, et cetera, et cetera? Was there something? Was there a character? Was there a movie? Something that just made you go, wow. Okay. I have to say that one of my favorite movies was Batman Begins because it had its feet in practicality. And I loved Batman Begins because he used his brain more than his brawn. And he was a very rich, educated man. So it was really cool to see him use what he had to create the Batman character. I think it's the first time I saw that and really, really enjoyed it and began to get curious. Michelle says, won't be joining you, still recovering from COVID, heading for a nap. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Please, Michelle, get well and rest, walk, keep moving. That's the key to it. And take care of yourself. This COVID thing isn't funny, is it? And Michelle has had COVID a couple of times, so it's a drag. It's really a drag. Okay. We are thinking of you for real. Absolutely love it. Those who don't like, forgot how to watch TV. Emil, maybe. They may have looked at a title and said no, but you can't judge a book by its cover, can you? You can't look at me and really know what I'm about, honestly, or perhaps you as well. So I always say, give something a chance before, you can't just say how much you hate a movie if you've never seen it. That's one of the pet peeves I have. People say, oh, this movie's terrible and it's awful. Well, have you seen it? No. Really? Really? Now, I will say, that being said, I saw the previews to the live action Dumbo and I could not bring myself to see it. I did not like the trailers at all. I didn't like the looks of the characters. I didn't like where it was going. And honestly, I was really concerned that they would screw up something that's very dear to me, which is Dumbo, the animated one. So I chose to avoid it because it did not look like a good film. And I don't want to discover that it is a bad film because once I see it, I can't unsee it. So in some cases, that might be you who says, oh, this looks like the place I don't want to go. I think I'm going to let that one stay on the shelf. Totally get it. So I'm not dissing you if you're saying this film looks bad. I didn't want to get into it. Like I saw Maleficent 1 live action, and the only thing I loved about it was that Angelina Jolie makes a killer kick butt Maleficent. But after seeing the first one and hating it so much, I didn't even venture to the second one because I don't want to be that disappointed again. I mean, it hurts my heart to see Disney destroy in some of these. So I have to choose carefully so I don't want that disappointment. That's just my position, So if we get back to WandaVision, I saw the trailers for this and I just didn't believe it. It was so cool. And well, first of all, it was most of before it even dropped, it was a lot of black and white, which you have me at hello if it's black and white. Just shoot something black and white, I'll be watching it. I just love black and white. So it intrigued me that way right away. But then after, my husband says, let's watch the first one. And after the first one, I was hooked. So, I agree with you both of you on it. Hello again, Deanna. Robert says, I watched with my son. I enjoy the story. He shows me all the Easter eggs connections to other movies and shows. So Robert is like me, okay? He's got a son who's really into it, like my husband is, and my husband is the same. Now, my husband starts, unlike Robert, my husband shows me certain Easter eggs he thinks I will be interested in knowing. He does not show them all to me because my eyes would cross over. I'd be like, because some of them just don't matter to me. But he knows which ones do, so he shows me those. And then he'll say, would you like me to share some more? And he'll share a couple more, and I'll go, mm-mm. Mm-mm. And I'm being as open and honest. I'm not dissing him because this is his thing. So honestly, Robert, my husband and your son would really enjoy chatting and I think that's what's really cool about it is you get with people who are into it and you get with people like me and Robert who are kind of, we love the show and we love seeing it with someone we love. So Robert and his son, me and my husband, and I think WandaVision just has nailed it in that respect. Jim Collins says, my 20-year-old is in the same Marvel class with your husband, explains the Easter eggs. It's awesome. Gonna get better. Shh, love ya. You see, you guys are all, Jim, I'm just going to say, all of you guys who are on today are so amazing because you don't want to spoil it for others. And I love your heart for that. Let me just thank you for being so considerate of everybody else. And this is what makes this channel so special. Is my husband said when I put up the thumbnail, you noticed I've got some thumbnails with new pictures so you can find the discussions quickly because I am a visual person. So my husband goes, well, a lot of people have words. And I'm like, I want a picture. That way you guys can look for the picture. But he wanted to know if I did a spoiler alert. And I felt so confident that when I'm talking with you guys, that you wouldn't spoil it because we're not talking about specifics in WandaVision. We're talking about the magic that they have created. These people who have done this have created to allow us to bond together with someone that there was a problem, not a bad problem, but a small wall where, it was just too much sensory overload for those of us who weren't into it. So Jim, I think you say this beautifully. You get to bond with your 20-year-old who's really into it. And it's an area with my husband. I bond with my husband on a million levels, but it's fun to watch these movies together and actually really enjoy them. And I think that if you are someone who's looking to create more of what WandaVision is doing, that you watch it and you see what they're doing and how are they. I mean, this might be a happy accident, wouldn't you say, Jim? Maybe it's a happy accident that we who are not Marvelites are all of a sudden so wrapped up in WandaVision. I mean, honestly, I can hear from Jim and I can hear from Robert and I can hear from Emil and I hear from all you others that you can't wait. You're like, you can't wait till it drops. And we're not of this, you see? And it really excites, like Jim is saying, his son loves it that he can share it with his dad. And others feel the same, like Robert talked about. It's just a really cool thing. It's a very cool thing. Thank you for saying that. Hello, hope you're well. Love your lives. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. But I want to thank you for being so careful and cautious not to create spoilers. I think it's just a beautiful thing about you. So many places, a spoiler, they have to say spoiler alert so that you don't watch their channel or whatever. And here, I thought it would be fun to talk about why this is working and why this is so special and why this makes this so amazing. And the 5th episode, guys, seriously, get on it if you haven't seen it, because the 5th episode, there's a turn that happens. There's like a I don't know if it'd be a plot twist, but there's a shift. And it's exciting. That's all I'm going to tell you. And it's really, really fun. So, and it's fun for both of us. We're both on the same coaster ride. We're both loving it. And we're both eager. Marvelite, my husband, and me, a little clueless, are both really excited about taking that drop into the next episode, which drops on Friday. And we'll see on Sunday. So just, yeah, tickled. It's just a really, I'm really touched by it. I can't get over how cool it is. I can't get over how amazing this WandaVision thing is. I wanted to talk to you guys today about it because I was just like, oh my goodness. I'm in the comments already because I really wanted to hear how you feel. Angie says, you're the best, Biz. You made me tear up. Well, you guys are special. Bonnie says, good morning to everyone. Good morning, Bonnie. I wasn't overly crazy about WandaVision initially, says Joseph. But yes, it is intriguing and needs to be watched since it's a key and will tie into future movies in the Marvel universe. And I really don't care. I'm not dissing you, Joseph, not dissing you. But this is the point that I'm pointing out. I don't care if it ties into later stuff, but people like you do. And yet we're both watching WandaVision. You understand? You see what I'm saying? It's remarkable. People strive a lot to bring in more audiences and to bring audiences together. And I'm grateful to the WandaVision creators for thinking about me, the person in the corner who's going, oh, not another superhero movie, please, Lord. Because this has just completely changed me. As far, you do more like this, I'm in, popcorn ready, tickets in hand, I'm going because I love, so I'm glad you stuck with it, Joseph, because it's really good. It's really good. And it's been a nice way to get to know two characters in the Marvel universe that I didn't know anything about, really. I had seen Ultron and seen her with her brother, and they were actually my two favorite characters in that sequence. I thought they were great, and I love them both, even as villains. And then when they shift, I just thought they were wonderful. But I didn't really we didn't really, because there's always so many villains and so many heroes that I'm like, my eyes are crossing. Why do you have to have 5 million superheroes battling 5 million like Ender's Game? Oh my gosh, really? Hanging on for dear life and going, oh, this movie is not for me. Thank God Rocket's in it. You know what I mean? So for me, there was different things. I don't like you throwing the spaghetti at the wall and hoping that I can identify every noodle. So Ender's Game was not my jam. It was my husband's. And a lot of you Marvelites loved it too. So, like I said, what's really cool is to now, quieter, relaxed pace, I get to learn about two characters and I'm falling in love with them. I absolutely love them. I love Wanda and I love Vision. I love them both. And the surrounding characters around them too. I love it. I really love it. And I'm surprised because it's not my thing. So if it's not yours, this might be a way that you can bond. As many have said today, they're bonding with family members they did not necessarily get to do before because it was just too much stuff for the brain. Stay strong and all the best. Hoping you have a speedy recovery. Thank you, Bob, for saying that. He said that to Michelle Tate. And that is very nice of you to do that. See, you guys really think about it. Emil, I really love WandaVision because it's original. It's like TV in the good old days. Correct, Emil. That's why I'm digging it. Let's see what he says. Mix of awesome styles and homages. He's right. And I mean, those people who already hate WandaVision forgot what slow and good TV is. Are there people that hate WandaVision? I can't even believe that, Emil. Did they even give it a chance? Did they? Because I remember I have a friend who's into Marvel very much. He watched the first episode and decided he didn't like it. I mean, come on. Remember, I told you that I am behind the scenes. I'm an actor. I'm a builder. I'm a performer. I've worked on hundreds of movies and TV. And a pilot is never a series makes. Okay. The pilot, you're trying to find yourself, you're trying to find your feet as actors, as production, as effects, as writers, as creators. The first pilot can be always shaky. So here I'm saying to you, if you are someone who didn't like it, you're not giving it a good chance. You need to watch 1 or 2 shows at least. I usually watch 3 to determine whether or not it's not for me. So for example, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which so many people love. Can't get into it. Can't get into it at all. Do not like it. I've watched the first 3. I've watched the last 3. I've dipped into a 3rd season, hoping that it will warm up because so many people love this. I can't even tell you why it doesn't resonate with me. It just doesn't. So different strokes for different folks. But what's wonderful, again, about types of people together that were always apart. Wouldn't you agree, Emil? That if you love comics and you eat, drink, and adore Marvel, but you're someone who would rather not right now, you're like this. And WandaVision has brought us like this. And I love it because of that. And it just keeps getting better. The deeper it goes, the more I'm hooked. And this is not me. As you've heard people say in the comments, Robert, not his thing, but he's bonding with his son. You know, this is what makes this particular series so beautiful. It really does. It really does. And you can see how excited I get because it's cool. With WandaVision, the remixed version of Daydream Believer by the Monkees drew me into the trailer. I love the remix. It's haunting. Yes, it is. And it's a band that I grew up with. You know? Yeah. Well said, Ron. Well said. I mean, it's magical how it works. It really is magical how it's working. And what really surprises me is as it starts to go in the direction it has predetermined, I'm still on board invested. Whereas I could tune out at any time, they seem to care enough about me in its creation to want me to stay in the party. And I feel really special. You know, it's kind of like if you're vegan and someone doesn't understand why you're vegan, but you go to the party and they've laid out this beautiful spread based on you being vegan, and it touches your heart, doesn't it? You know, it touches your heart when you're vegan and the people go, well, I'm all carnivore, right? But I had I did a retreat where I invited people from all walks of life for me to help them with how to make a living doing what they love and how to move forward if they were stuck. Okay. And one of the girls was vegan. And I said to her very gently, I'm all about being a carnivore. I love my meat. So if you will bring your protein, because I don't understand what protein is to a vegan. So if you'll take care of your protein, I'll take care of your vegetables and your side dishes. And she was like, no problem. But when she came to my event and she saw the spread that was laid out for her, and it's not like we don't like vegetables, the rest of us, we do. But she was so touched that she started to cry. And this is really special when you go that extra mile for someone because you respect who they are. You don't say, oh gosh, I'm vegan. You say, oh my gosh, let's let her know we're so happy to have her and that we respect her choices in life. So again, back to WandaVision, ba-bum, jumping back into WandaVision. That's what WandaVision is saying to me. We know you're not into superheroes, but we want you to stay and we care about you. So we're going to make this just as entertaining for you in a different way than the Marvelites. We have them. We know what to deliver to them. And it's back to listening to your audience, isn't it? I mean, I didn't really think they were hearing my voice. I didn't think they cared. I mean, honestly, does the Super Bowl care if I don't like the Super Bowl? They really don't. They really don't. They'll do the commercials in the hopes that they'll catch some people. But as far as me, they don't care. They're making millions. They don't care. But WandaVision does. And I'm so flattered and I'm so touched and I'm so excited that this is the way they feel and this is the way that they behave. And I just love it. I'm not huge one for Marvel, but the black and white aspect seems interesting. We'll give it a try. Bonnie, you got to. It's going to surprise you, I think. I think you will be surprised. I was really surprised. The black and white grabbed me. And I will tell you, there are shifts and changes that it goes on a journey that you will, I don't know, you'll love. If you love the old TV, like was stated by Jim and was stated by Emil, you're gonna love this. You're just gonna love how they really think about you. Blushing, Jim, you're a sweetheart. Bring back Phil of the future, says Mark Silverman. Mark, have you seen WandaVision? We all are excited about bringing back stuff. I mean, Dinosaurs came back to Disney Plus, and that's a film that that's a series that I did the series years ago in the 90s, and it's back on there, and I'm very touched by it. But what touches me about WandaVision is the fact that here's a show that is 2021 and it's thinking about me as well as my husband, who's been into, all of this for a long time. So that's what I like about it. Yeah, the past shows are great too. And boy, by far, I'm so excited. I did Baby's Arms in Dinosaurs, and I just love the show, and I'm very touched that it's back, and I've been slowly working my way through there. But this is just so nice to see someone thought enough about me to include me so I could sit with my husband and watch it. It really touches me. Hi, Bella. I thought maybe you went to bed, sweetie. Hi, Charlotte. I have shared your email to the tribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm behind and need to catch up. But I am the same. This is new to me. Yes, and if you're talking about this whole thing I'm doing, or you're talking about WandaVision or whatever, yeah, it's new to a lot of people. I didn't expect to like WandaVision except for the black and white. I figured I'll enjoy a little black and white and then I'll be. But it's just, it has every element that is so, it has every element. Without spoiling it, guys, just check it out if you got Disney Plus. What do you got to lose, right? And Grandma, hi, Grandma. Ooh, the monkeys. We'll definitely have to check it out. Yes, well, you remember Guardians of the Galaxy. If you are a Marvelite, you remember Guardians of the Galaxy and how he had the Walkman and all the music that a Walkman had. Well, I had a Walkman. In fact, I'm looking for it in my garage because I bet you I still have it. I also have the iPods that Apple did that had 128 gigs, and you could just chock it full of music. And there are kids today that are still looking for that because it's such a big, powerful little being. But this, and then the music of that time, I mean, that soundtrack to the original Guardians is my music. It's the music I grew up with. So that was one of the first times they had me at hello. But then they started to get involved with a lot of characters. And there were characters that I loved, like Rocket. I hung on Rocket because I just love that angry character. And then the second one, which I kind of like certain parts of it, but don't like other parts of the second Guardians. I love the sequence when the blue guy with the fin is in the jail with Rocket, and they sort of have a real heart-to-heart talk, and that just really got to me. I just loved it. And that's kind of what I look for when I'm with my husband, who's looking for Easter eggs, who's looking for the stories to unfold based on what he's read and whatever. So this is what it did. But as you're pointing out, the monkeys, the music, everything, it's what gets you and it hooks you. That's another thing that brings us together is the music on WandaVision. Let's see what it says. Even saw them live. Dolan's Nesmith couldn't join the show. I went solo, but loved it. Yeah, the monkeys are terrific, right? Yeah, they were terrific. Big fan. I was a Mickey Dolenz girl. So my sister had Davy up on the wall and I liked Mickey. I just thought he was quirky and cool and fun. So, yep, they were a heart pod. Can't wait to see it, says Anne. Yes, have we got you all revved up, Anne? Ready to check it out? You got to. It's yeah, it's really worth it. It's really worth it. Really haven't been able to watch too much going in here right now, but we'll try this week. Janet, it's like what I'm doing right now. I'm working. I get one day that my husband and I have scheduled to call, that's called Family Day. And I guard it very aggressively. That's my Sundays. So my phone doesn't go on. If you try to reach me on Sunday, you have a 50-50 chance of getting me because I'm not really interested in the outside world on Sunday. It's me, my husband, and my dog. My husband works long hours. I work very hard. And we can get wrapped up in ourselves, can't we? And our spouses or our significant others can suffer. So we want to, even if we have to schedule it, guys, there's nothing wrong in scheduling it. Schedule a time when it's we just spend time with each other and we talk about whatever. He may want to touch on certain things that have happened in work and certain attitudes, or I may want to touch on my challenges with these ghosts that I'm working on, these hitchhiking ghosts that I'm creating. I was supposed to have 5 sent out in January, and the first ones are always the most challenging to get out. So I would talk about that. And then I make a beautiful breakfast, a killer breakfast. Yesterday I made quiche, and he makes a beautiful coffee, and we curl up and watch WandaVision. It is our Sunday thing. And then after that, we have screeners because I'm with the Screen Actors Guild. He's with the Academy. And so we both get screeners that we have to look at because we're going to vote later this year. So we do our due diligence, watch as many of those movies as possible. But I will tell you that WandaVision is first. And then if we want to watch it again, we watch it again. So I didn't really need to watch it again, but my husband did because he said the 5th episode is full of Easter eggs. That's not a spoiler, just a heads up for those of you who haven't been to episode 5 yet. Episode 5 has a lot of Easter eggs, according to my husband. Do I know what they are? No, not really. But for those of you who want to see those, and you haven't seen episode 5, just know episode 5 is chock full. But as I've heard, so are the other episodes. So it's not like episode 5 is unique. It's the one that just dropped. So that's kind of what the buzz is about. And I don't even know if there's real buzz. This is just the buzz that's happening between me and my husband and you guys, for real. Deanna says, my mom still has my 8-track player. Oh, that's cool. You got to send a picture. Because, you know, this stuff is what we grew up on, honestly. And there are people out there that don't even know what that is, Deanna, and would probably love seeing it. I have mine packed in storage somewhere, says Janet. I love you guys. Oh, you guys are so cute. You guys are so cute. I saw the Monkees in the 60s, couldn't hear the music because of all the screaming. And you make a really good point. Why do I even say this? I'm going to tell you why. Because I went and saw the Beatles in 1969. I was 9 years old. Nah, I was 11. 57, 11, almost 12. Okay, because I was born in 1957. In 1969, I went and saw the Beatles. I was so excited because apparently this was the ticket to get, even though I was a little girl. I'm like, okay, this is the ticket to get. And my dad, they were at the Hollywood Bowl, and my dad put me up on his shoulders. I got to see all the Beatles. I'm a big George Harrison fan. And now, of course, Paul McCartney, but big George Harrison fan at the time. I just thought he was the coolest at 9 years old. There used to be the Frito-Lay company used to have, I wish I still had them. I don't. I'm sorry. Or I'd show them to you. Cardboard framed photos of the Beatles. And you could pick through the Fritos bags to find your favorite Beatle because it was on the outside. And my sister and I would try to get all 4 Beatles. So in 69, I went to the Hollywood Bowl and actually saw them perform, and it was mind blowing. But like you say, it was loud. It was so loud. There was all that screaming. I couldn't hear the music, and I was kind of like, well, that's not cool, you know. Um, just want to make sure. So as Anne says, it just was so noisy and everything that I really did not enjoy myself. And we stayed for a little while, but then we went home, and that was in the Hollywood Bowl in Hollywood here in California. So live concerts are sometimes. My other big concert that I liked, as long as we're talking about nostalgic music, was John Denver. I had every album. And when I was 16, I wanted to see him at the Universal Amphitheater, which used to be an outdoor theater, which is long gone here. It's gone. No such animal exists anymore. It's been bulldozed and become an amusement park. But I was at the amphitheater. I wanted to get tickets to the amphitheater, and I missed out. I stood in line overnight, and the door closed almost right in front of my face. And I came home, and my dad saw how disappointed I was. And then my dad worked for KMPC radio station owned by Gene Autry, Western. And John Denver came to the radio station to be interviewed, and my father surprised me. He had me drive down, and when I walked in, there was John Denver standing there right in front of me, about 8 feet away. I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I just started driving. I was 16 years old, and my jaw dropped. My jaw just dropped. You know how when you miss out on something, you go, "Ah, it's not that big a deal. I didn't really want to see him anyway." I was so full of baloney. But I just loved John Denver. And John Denver said, I hear you have a birthday. And he gave me 2 tickets to the third row. And he asked me my favorite song. And I told him it was Grandma's Feather Bed, because in my family, we had actually gone to my grandpa's house, and that's exactly how we slept. 2 chickens that took from the shed. We might not have had that, but we had everything else. And I just loved it. And so there I was sitting in the third row, and John Denver looked down at me and said, "This is a special gift for my dear friend Terri Hardin." And he sang Grandma's Feather Bed. I mean, wow. It was beyond amazing. It was wow. It was great. It was great. So watching these movies, these superhero films, touch back on music that was my music when I was growing up is wonderful. It is a way to hook me. You are all very correct. It is a way to hook me. But a black and white sitcom and something like WandaVision is another way to do it. And I'm just so touched that you're even looking past the Marvelite people and saying, would you like to come on? What would you like to have? And that's what really touches me about it. I think it's just beautiful. So we're going to go back to see what you guys are saying, because there are some nice comments in here. Let's see. Yes. And Anne said she couldn't wait to see it. Haven't been able to watch it. We talked about the 8 tracks. Here we go. Deanna says, we started watching the show Fate on Netflix last night. It is mystical and magic. Oh, that sounds fun. I'd like to watch that, because one of the things I have to watch on Netflix that I haven't touched base on, but I did first season, was The Crown. And I hear this season is quite unbelievable, that there are some actors that do mega monumental performances. It did get nominated for a couple of things for the Screen Actors Guild, so I'm really eager to see it. But I'll have to check Fate out. I will do that for sure. Love the Beatles, says Deanna. Yes, I sure did too. Wendy, how are you? We are so much alike. Born in 1957. Love Mickey Dolenz and Joel Jefferson. No wonder I love you. Wendy, I'll tell you, there were people who loved Paul. There were people, I mean, I also loved Ringo. I met Ringo Starr. Where did I meet Ringo Starr? At Capitol Records. He was filming the The one that has, okay, I can't remember the actual title, but it was his album where it has Day the Earth Stood Still on the cover, and Day the Earth Stood Still is my, oh, I love Day the Earth Stood Still with Michael Remy. Woo! So good. But he's dressed as the Rennie character, and then he's saying Klaatu Barada Nikto, which is the big slogan of Day the Earth Stood Still, and it's on the cover of his album. And I still have that album somewhere. I just got to dig it up, and if I find it, I'll show it to you. But that's what really excited me, and I met Ringo at that point, and that was really cool. Thank you, Wendy, for saying those nice words. Hi from downtown Disneyland. Tamara, are you in downtown Disneyland? How is it? Is it crowded? It's Monday. Is it crowded? Do you have to like dodge, parry from people? Or is everybody wearing a mask? Are you staying safe? You know this is going to be my question. Did you find something yummy? Let's keep it in the non-reality. Did you find something fun? Is something being offered by the Disney store that you got to have and you're out there getting ready for it? There's been talk here in Colorado to have the state song be Rocky Mountain High. Since we've legalized MJ, it has a whole new meaning. What a cool birthday. Yeah. Yes. And does it really have, I think the way you all want to use it for Colorado is cool, but he was using it the way people use it basically back then, which was a lot of token and stuff like that, which I never did, honestly, because I was told I would be killed. I would die if I ingested anything like that into my body. Maybe that was a process, but the point is I never did that at a time when everybody was doing it. But yeah, so I get it. I think this could be a cool idea, right? This could be a very cool idea. Yep. Ringo and John, says Deanna. Absolutely. So just to say, questions as far as what you want on the AMA on Friday, it pulls. It may not be WandaVision, but I was going to talk about something, and I have to tell you, WandaVision just blew me away so much that I said, and I'm noticing I don't have my title under here, and that is, I got to work on that. But anyway, I'll fix that at a later time. I'm not so sure why it's not popping up. It's like, why are you not popping up? And it's just not. So I'll have to see why it doesn't have my name here, and it doesn't have, that should be my name here. And technology, what are you going to do? But I was really going to show you some cool things. I'm thinking maybe this coming Friday, a couple of you asked for the mermaid tail. What did it take to make this beautiful mermaid tail right here? I'm happy to show you that. I'm happy to talk to you about that on the Ask Me Anything. Get your questions ready. But if you want to talk about WandaVision 2, we can talk about that. Being an Imagineer, etc. Like I said, this one is a little bit short today, simply because I really wanted to make it kind of about WandaVision and kind of wanted to talk about that sort of thing. But if you guys continue to post in things, you keep, reach out and talk about stuff, then it's worth it, because, Disney Plus is just got some great things coming up, don't they? And it excites me. Like if we're gonna take my cousin is probably going, what did you want? Good morning. Hi, broadcasting. Let me just write to him, because he does our shopping, and I realize I haven't given him a shopping list. There we go. All right, there. Now he knows what I'm doing. I'm live. Sorry. That was a little reality trying to push its way in. But honestly, if we talk about other things that are happening, which is what I was trying to tell you, and the reason I went to my phone is because whenever I'm trying to remember something, I pull it up. So, have you guys seen this Raya and the Last Dragon preview? It dropped a couple days ago. It was really what I was going to talk about today, and then WandaVision just kind of punted poor Raya out. I was going to talk about, if you haven't seen the trailer, it looks interesting, except for the dragon looks like something I used to. There's a set of books that I loved as a kid called the Serendipity books, and this dragon looks like it was lifted right out of there. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise to me, but it does look cute. It does look very interesting. I guess it drops in March. So I'll talk a little bit about that too. I was very excited to see it. Anything with dragons. Wah! You know me, love the dragon stuff. And you know, so I was going to talk about that, but then WandaVision just made it so exciting, so fun, so thrilling that I got excited about that. So if you want to see stuff, if you want to, you know, maybe you want to see what kind of books are interesting, we can talk about books we love. We can talk about special books. We can talk about sculpting. We can talk about art. We can talk about anything. Just like today, we talked about WandaVision, because I'm telling you, I was surprised, and it continues to surprise me. So that's kind of what I'm saying, is that it just continues to wow me. And I'm not used to that, because I come from the wow makers. I am on the behind the scenes helping create what you see. So sometimes when people say, wow, that movie was great, I'm sitting there going, wow, that movie is derivative. I've seen it before a million times. You know, Pandora comes to mind. Okay. I read The Dragon Riders of Pern. That's Pandora. So when I saw the movie, I was not as impressed as many people were. I was like, okay, this reminds me of Fern Gully. This reminds me of Pandora. And it's not that I'm looking for that. It just comes flooding in. Also, we watched, what did we watch? And I said the puppeteering was not great in it. And that's because a lot of mechanics in the days of practical effects would cast themselves as puppeteers, and the puppets didn't exactly emote, because it's very different. If you build, some can do both, but some cannot do both. Puppetry is a skill, it's an ability, it's a talent. It's not impossible, but just because you build doesn't mean you have it. Okay. My husband told me a great story about a violinist who, a builder who built this beautiful violin, thought he played it well, and then gave it to a true violinist and cried when the music was played with someone who had had the training and the experience. So I'm not saying all the time, but what I'm saying is I'm a behind the scenes kind of gal. So a lot of this stuff doesn't affect me like it does you. And sometimes I get a little envious of you because you can just watch a movie. My mother says, can't you just watch a movie? No, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. It hits you like a frying pan in the face when it's not good, when certain things aren't working. Bam. You know, so I do my best. And that's why I love something like WandaVision, because it really gets me, affects me. Wow. Just really, really does. Really, really, really does. So let's see who else we had. Here we go. Deanna says Ringo and John. We saw that. And then I saw Roy Orbison in 1988. Love him. First row seats. Awesome content. Hugs and loves. Yeah. Don't you just go crazy when you finally have, like, I mean, I think I mentioned that I saw Monty Python. I love Monty Python. My husband actually introduced me to them when he was my friend, before he was even my boyfriend even. I had never heard of them. Can you believe it? And I went to the Hollywood Bowl and got a box seat up near the front. And Michael Palin went and hid in my box. He was right there with me. There's only 2 seats, my little wine and cheese and everything, and him. It was cool. It was very, very cool. And I love that. So it's fantastic. But guys, I'm just going to sign off. I know it's only been a little over an hour today, but it's Monday. I do want to get my ghosts out. I love you guys so much. I know I'm not going the full, but join the AMA. We'll go the long version then. but I wanted to make this about WandaVision, and I wanted to kind of encapsulate it and make it exclusive, so that if you wanted to see it later, you can check it out. But I promise it's not always going to be this way during the pandemic. But there's the stories there. I really was dazzled by it, really blown away by it, and you know, just amazing. And I know you guys got stuff to do. It's a beautiful day outside. It's not raining. Many of you said you got snow. Another reason it's a beautiful day, as long as you don't have to shovel it. So guys, do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel so much better. Thank you for being who you all are. Thank you for commenting. That makes my day even better when you comment, and when you comment, and I'll be reading and looking at them. On the Ask Me Anything, I'll talk about the giveaway. I did mention a giveaway, several Ask Me's before. I'm going to do a giveaway on the Ask Me Anything at the end of the month, and I want you to be a part of it. It's basically, tell me your dinosaur's love story, and I'll look one, and we've got like 6 or 7 things, and we'll pick the best stories, and we'll send it out to you. Okay. So I love you guys so much, and think about you all the time. And I'm so grateful. She says, not beautiful in the snow, says Angie. Oh, Angie, when that snow first falls, I agree. I just love it. But I understand that when it gets dirty, it's not a pretty thing. So I'm with you on that. Here, I am grateful for the sunshine, because I have a lot of work to do. So it's got to happen. So to you guys, thank you for allowing me to keep it short today. And we'll talk again on Friday, okay? Be well, be safe. You have so much heart, and you've done something nice for me today. So thank you. And I'll see you Friday. Have questions, please. Ask away. Okay.